Hello everyone, this is Chad Redding here with Ruck Rabbit Outdoors. I'm out this beautiful spring evening. I'm out along the Conewago Creek, home to the Conewago Phantom. I'm actually a little slightly north of where those sightings were historically. Just doing a little bit of foraging this evening, and I came upon one of my favorite plants that I like to get in early spring. And that plant is the trout lily. Trout lily is one that comes out early spring before the leaves come out on the trees. This little plant likes to take advantage of the lack of cover, to get the first dampness from the melting snows and the early pollinators. So its little survival tactic is to be early. It's easy to find here in the East Coast. It's usually around bottomlands. Like, I'm probably about 30 yards from the creek. Easily identifiable. Usually this flower is open, but in the evening it likes to close, so that's why it's starting to close right now. The easiest way to identify it is by the leaves. You can see the leaves are basically brown with some green, and there's different patterns, of course, but it's called trout lily because they say the markings on the leaves basically look like a brook trout. So this whole plant is pretty much edible. The leaves are good. Have a slightly sweet flavor. The younger leaves, of course, like most early spring plants, are better. There is a little bit of bitterness as they get older, but it's nothing like an older dandelion. So the flower is also edible, like I said. And it has a little bit of a sweeter taste compared to the leaves. One of the best parts is the bulb, or culm, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I have a mosquito already, jeez. And as you can see, it's pretty long, so this was buried pretty deep down in the soil. Actually dug it out, and there's a little paper sheath around it. And basically, I have washed it, that's why it looks a little wet. Just pull that little paper sheath off, and you got this little white bulb, or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't get much bigger than this. Another name for this plant is dog-tooth violet, because basically they said this looks like a dog's tooth. Some of them are a little more pointed. You can eat the little thing raw, and it's pretty good. It's pretty sweet. I'd say that's probably the best part of the plant. But you can see all behind me here. Here's another one growing. They're all over the forest floor here. They have a tendency to spread out. And yeah, you can see this. Here's a much bigger leaf. Typical brown spattered covering over top of the green. And that one was a little more peppery because it is a larger leaf. But easy to find this time of year. They're not out for very long, so when you find them, take advantage of them. But when you harvest them, make sure you harvest them properly. Don't harvest a ton of them. I usually will come out, graze a little bit, dig a couple of the tubers up, and just eat them. They're good on a salad. Another good green plant. Nice to eat when you're out hiking around. So, but I just thought I'd take a couple minutes and share with you one of the wild edibles found here in the eastern United States, especially here in south central Pennsylvania. Like I said, I find them mostly in bottomlands, swampy areas, especially along creeks, at least here. I mean, I hiked about 20 yards up, and there's an open field up there, and there's none up there. So they definitely like the trees along creeks, at least here. So, yep. But make sure you do your research. Make sure you check into stuff medically and all that for yourself before you go foraging on wild plants. Make sure you really know what you're looking at. But I just thought I'd share this one. You know, it's a easy one to identify, and it's slightly different than the stuff that's in your yard. So when you're out walking around this time of year, especially along the creek, make sure you keep an eye out. So until next time, fair weather and safe journeys.